Hey everyone, my name is Steph Haddad. I'm reporting to you from California in the United States. It is a little after 7 local time. Uh, my dog Mindy I said your name, has decided right now is the time that she wants to start playing. So every once in a while, the camera might go a little crazy because she is stomping on my laptop to play. That's totally fine. Today I'm going to be talking about science over shock. I have talked about this during the last go around, and I have thought about some things and talked some things over, and we're getting rolling in our private Facebook group, which I hope our professional friends will join. Um, about how we can get more people involved. A little bit about me, who I am. I've been working with dogs off and on for the last decade. During the last almost 3 years, I have been working almost exclusively as a pet professional. I have been walking and sitting, and now I'm training. Turns out I had been training the whole time. I had been walking the dogs as I specialize with reactivity and aggression. And I love working with those types of dogs that need to learn the world isn't such a scary place. I love working with guarding type breeds, so German Shepherds, Mouths, Pitties. I love Pitties. My dog Mindy, who you saw for like 2 seconds, she is half Shepherd, half Pitty, and just a splash of Husky, which we blame all of her worst traits on, which all the Siberian Husky people can yell at me later about. If you have any questions during this, or if you are watching this video after it's been recorded, feel free to leave questions in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. We are 8 hours behind the UK over here in California, so I have a feeling we have a brief time every day where we can overlap with each other. People who are watching live, thanks for being here. But enough about the jibber jabber. Let me get down to business. I left my water bottle all the way over there. Oh no. Let me first tell you what science over shock is. Science over shock is a group that is working on creating more accessible education on all the internet channels that are out there for everyone, regardless of oh my goodness, excuse me, regardless of class, education, race, nationality, sexuality, gender identity. We don't want people to feel like they're not included. We started this as a direct knee-jerk reaction to the new Netflix show that features a person that uses force-free training, and his training features pseudoscience and kind of some made-up terms that when they're said confidently sound like real things. We'd like to disambiguate some of these things, figure out what is actually being used in dog training and what might not be the best way to go about that. All of us professionals here and the people who have been training force free have probably seen the fallout of utilizing aversives, whether it's a dog that just has their behavior suppressed and they are more nervous, or it's a dog that is dependent on tools around their neck, and that if they don't have them on, they just become a wild card whenever they're responding to any type of stimuli that bothers them. Some people just see dogs, they get hurt, and it sucks. I don't want this to sound like super hand-holdy, kumbaya-y, but it sucks. It sucks seeing dogs that are subjected to stuff due to the worst part is it's the best interests of the owners or word you want to use, for people that have pets. They want to do what they believe is best for their animals, and they are relying on information that's either outdated or just being interpreted incorrectly. So yeah, that's what Science Over Shock is about. Um, this was started with people from 3 different groups, people from R Plus place or R Plus Facebook group for my area, also people from the Thrive network through that Dog Biz has set up for people in their business coaching group, and also through the uh, open forum that the Academy for Dog Trainers has available on Facebook. I think that's a fantastic group of people to start with. The Bay Area is known for, currently reside in the Bay Area for San Francisco and San Jose in California. Is pretty darn knowledgeable. It's chock full of a lot of knowledgeable people, and a lot of people that are comfortable mentoring people, which has been phenomenal to have those resources as a newer trainer in the industry. So enough of that. Let's talk about what clients are seeing. Something sorely lacking in the force-free arena and the reward base, and people that are really truly highly educated, either through professional schooling programs, or they've been to a ton of seminars, or they read a lot of books and stuff, is they don't necessarily get themselves out there. Currently, the way to get information out into the world is using the internet. No longer are we using the tack boards at the coffee shops. We're using Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, even LinkedIn is a resource that people will use to find information. It's whatever they type into Google search bar, whatever shows up, that's where they go to. YouTube, another fantastic way to see how people do things, and you can pause it and rewind it, go forward, all that good stuff. And what clients and pet owners are often looking for are results. They want to see that change. Excuse me. And by change, I mean the dog is doing what they want them to do. So instead of the dog being reactive on leash and barking at another dog, the dog is walking in a heel right next to them. You and I know that oftentimes that dog is stressed out and it's waiting for a correction. It is nervous that if it sees something else, it's going to receive a correction through whatever they have on their neck. And yeah, they're staying in place where you want them to be. It's because they're afraid to go anywhere else. We also know that loose leash walking means that a dog does not have to be strictly in heel. They can be sniffing around and stuff, and that's a great way to have a dog take in its surroundings and be less worried about not being able to sniff the dog across the street's butt. And we know how to work on dogs to be able to do that disengagement. So what do? We have to get out there. And not only can we show before and afters, we can show a little bit of the process. You don't have to show everything, but at least showing the step-by-step changes in how we get from the dog that's barking like nuts off on leash to the dog that will look at the owner, receive the treat, and then go sniff. I know there is a lot of talk right now and things being posted about showing before and afters, and that some people find them to be unethical because some people get their befores by stoking the flames to get the dog to react. There's a way to get before and afters without wittingly sending the dogs over the edge and over threshold. I would encourage everyone who is receiving calls for help or emails or whatever, just being notified that their dog, they want help with their animal, is to ask for video. That is your before. Your before videos help also you as a professional, because then you can see it, especially during COVID, where we're cutting down on how much time we're with people not in our families. That will allow us to get that before aspect, and that we can use as a way to compare, be like, hey, remember when your dog used to do this? Now your dog is doing this. Isn't that great? And that works with the client, and that works for later as a, as a before and after, or as a progress video. And there's a few people that I like online that have done fantastic jobs of showing progress videos, which I'll actually show you now. We're going to head over to Instagram. I really like JW dog training and Smart Bitch dog training. JW, I don't remember where they're at. I know Smart Bitches are down in Louisiana. I think they're down in New Orleans. Oh, good. Nothing's loading. That's fantastic. There we go. We'll touch on this in over in Detroit. You guys aren't going to be able to hear this. I'm going to mute this so that this isn't ringing in my ears. So Ashley notes she has a video of, she's got her management tools. She's got the dog on leash, which she pretty much apologizes for having the dog on slip lead. She did make a note that that's what she was able to grab in the moment, and that usually this dog is walked on a harness, a body harness. So she's showing this dog working on reactivity. She fortunately had someone else who could video for her. And look at that. They show what is bothering the dog. She also has back here in the side, you can see one of her management tools that she's using is it a tarp? Landscaping fabric. So we'll wait for this to go around for you to see it. So she shows how she can use what she has, which is the fence in her yard. She also has a crap ton of food that she's using to reward the dog. That is probably delicious. She has an explanation here of what she's doing. You can see what the dog is responding or reacting to. You can see the food, and here it is. So she has a big thing set up so that while the dog's staying with her, it can lower its arousal levels while it's doing its dog thing. Look at that paw. A work in progress being videoed. That dog is not over threshold. It's totally fine. Let's see. We've got another dog being worked here. I think this is Rachel Forday. Yeah, dog at heart. So here it's using Leslie McDevitt's 1-2-3 pattern game to redirect a dog who is normally very leash reactive. Again, shows the video. She also has these really great captions. So for whether you're just on mute or you have the video, or excuse me, maybe your audience member is hard of hearing. It's great. It's awesome. Here's the explanation. Business side, she says, hey, shoot me a message if you want more information. She also has a video description and hashtags. A joy to find people who are rocking these videos and these photos, or infographics rather. This is, I believe, Erica. Yeah, this is Erica Gonzalez from Dusk Till Dog. I do remember New Jersey. That's where she's from. She's over in New Jersey, which is the East Coast of the United States. And she posts constantly tips that people can use. Her company is From Dusk Till Dog. Again, information, everything is written out. She also uses cute little emojis. what's not to like, and a fuck ton of hashtags. It's awesome. So I've been reposting these in an effort to not only have all this stuff in one place. Oh, you want to point? Let's look at a dog pointing while we're talking. Not only to just have this as a resource of solid information, but people who are providing the solid information. So I make sure to tag everybody. So Force Free Gun Dog right here, I think they're using a toy, a tether toy for this. I make sure to tag them in the video, and I repost pretty much everything that they said. This one, that's all they wrote for this one. Look at that freeze. That dog is paying attention. Yeah, get that toy. Get it. Yeah, there we go. About what canine intervention is doing. This is from Katana Jones. I hope I'm saying your name right, Katana. I apologize if I am not. This lady, oh, they saved some bees. They were cold. They took naps in the. Anyway, her stuff. She posts more personal things on her page, and that's fine. And she posted about this, and I was like, yes, this is a person that has a ton of education, who gives a lot of talks. I want to give her some exposure. And Denise over here is showing an unedited video, which I think is very brave, of her working with her dog Dice. Stacy over here is working on, I think, look at that, with her personal dog. Why is this not showing up? Okay, we'll sit. We'll sit and we'll wait. Excuse me. Stacy, I'm sorry, this doesn't want your thing to load. Boo-hoo. Anyway, so this is what we've been doing here. Where? These gals are over in Norway. They did a focused heel with their dogs. That was pretty cool. Here's some dogs in a relaxed down. Oh, let's look at this. So I got this. I'm sorry, I can't remember your name, the gal that runs this, but they're over in Illinois, and she's showing some dogs in a downstay. This is a big thing that balance trainers like to show off online and in person. Oftentimes, if you live in a place that's pretty busy, they'll take dogs out and about for their group classes. And something that is a staple here in the Bay Area for balance trainers is they will. It looks like a puppy parade. They'll have their dogs and they'll be on their prongs or their shock collars, and then they'll have all of them down in a downstay, and all these dogs are freaking out. But what the general public sees is they see a dog that is staying down and isn't moving, and they're like, ooh, that's cool. Here we have 3 dogs in a downstay, and they are super duper relaxed. Look, relaxed ears, relaxed faces. Look, this one's even got the hips to the side. Super cute. This one's just like, when do I get the treat? Look at this little foldy paw. And here they have in the description, they're like, yay, look at this, and who these dogs are and how old they are. It's just great. It's good stuff. So this is the type of thing that I would like to see people posting. Where are the gals? By Free Will Animal Training. So this actually shows so this is how this dog used to get ready for a walk. This is just, I think, in their driveway, and he would mouth and jump, and it sucks. And this is the after. The only tools being utilized are snacks and a leash and a collar. That's it. Help us get more visibility on the internet. here we go. Here's smart bitch training. So here's another great example of, here's the video, here's what's going on, and look at what we're working on. They're so good at using captions of what's going on in the video, like as it's happening, and they also will label stuff. I think they're on TikTok too. They are just so good at getting their shit online for people to see. It does help that when both Giovanni and Taylor are there, they can take videos of each other instructing. But it's awesome. Look at this distraction. Somebody jumping around in the middle, and the dog in a relaxed downstay. Taylor is freaking hilarious. So there's a couple examples. I don't want to get too far off it. Like, look at all this stuff. And this is amazing. This is all over the United States, and I'm trying to find more things in other parts of the world. It's pretty cool. Very, very cool. So let me check to see if there's any questions right now. Nope, no questions. Just people watching. I'm into it. All right. So what I'm trying to show you with these is that people in free can indeed successfully post videos on their Facebook, on their Instagram pages, on their TikTok of dogs doing what people want them to do when they're initially signing up for training. They want their dogs to be able to be still even though there's chaos going on. They want their dog to not freak out every time a truck comes by. And it's possible. You and I love seeing a dog that wants to sniff and walk around everywhere and run around and recall every once in a while and do check-ins, but people don't know how awesome that can be until they get the basics down of just letting their dog come to them when they're working on their basic training. Anywho, so these are some ways that I think we can learn from aversive trainers. They're really good at advertising themselves. Here, hello. They're really good at advertising themselves, and I think that us being able to advertise ourselves better will help improve the general baseline education for the general public. On Instagram and on Facebook as well, we have a Facebook page that is public facing that we can educate the public just as much as aversive and balanced trainers are. It's certainly within the realm of possibility. It is an extra step, definitely, but with things like Ruby is organizing with this virtual conference, I think we are going to have better accessibility in the next few years, and I'm really excited. Another thing that is hard to talk about but needs to be talked about is racism within the pet industry. Maybe you've worked at an animal shelter or volunteered at it. Maybe you've talked to breeders. And maybe you've just kind of seen it at some sporting competitions, but oftentimes you'll find a lot of people that are visually at least the most active and force-free are usually like white people, and that is what has been shown out in the world is white people. Like when I think dog trainer, I think middle-aged white woman. This is her second job, but it's her passion, and maybe she has a couple kids, maybe she doesn't, and she uses fancy high-level words. Even right now within our Science Over Shock, our private page, it's our admins right now are 3 women who are not quite middle-aged, but and I don't think any of us have kids, and we love dogs, and animals are a big focus in our lives. We need more we need more inclusivity just even within the Science Overshot group, and we're working on it. I hope we are. And something that we've been focused on and posting on our public page, which I can show you. But here is the most recent thing I reposted, was racism in the dog community, and it's really hard to hear that, because, the people here that are listening are like, well, I feel like it's been fine. Well, it's just because it's fine for you doesn't mean it's fine for everyone else. If you go to our most recent Science Overshock Instagram post, which if you're reading this later it was from Monday, March 15th. Allie from Halfway Crate tagged this for me. Thank you, Allie. Is that people don't know that Black people are being shunned unintentionally in situations, whether it's maybe they have a zip code that it's like, oh, we don't adopt out to people like that in that area, or as far as financial stuff goes, one big thing that like shelters will say, oh, we only adopt out dogs to people, or rescues, so we only adopt out dogs to people with fenced-in backyards. Got to have money to have a fence. Oh, and the fence needs to work. It needs to actually not have holes, and they'll do home inspections. And if the fence has anything wrong with it, they're like, you got to fix that beforehand, and that it costs money. And people will have money, but they may not, and they may have enough to eat, but to like do a whole side of a fence all over again, like that's several $1,000s, and that gets justified as saying, well, if they can't fix their fence, what are they going to do when their dog has a medical emergency? Just put it to sleep? So is that justifiable? I don't know if that is a justifiable thing to use anymore. People, excuse me, let's look here. Mahogany Gamble talks about people not having resources to start businesses that other people do, and then not having the support in general. Again, it's feeling like an outsider, which sucks. This is in the Mind Your Own Dog Business podcast. And I'm giving you these sources so that you can look at this yourself. Ulodimi James Daniel, she was interviewed in the Functional Breeding podcast, which is a great way to learn about how breeders are trying to get more stable dogs, both temperament and health-wise. But they've also touched on racism as well, and I'm so glad they did. They created a group called a couple of people created inclusivity in dog training, which the group is here. Right now they have 2,500 members. I hope they get more soon, especially after this talk. I am not going to show you the discussion area because they ask to respect people's privacy, and I am 100% for that. But the three admins that I know of are Adam, Ulodimi, and Samantha. I believe there's a new person. I'm not sure who it is. Sarah. And not only do they discuss racism, they also discuss ableism and how people are discriminated against for being queer. And they ask to use trigger warnings, which is really great if you're just tired of hearing all kinds of awful stuff and maybe you don't want to see it that day. So people add trigger warnings just so that just to help out people. They have specific rules about saying not to talk over people of color, and I think that's completely valid. No tone policing and respecting the privacy. The great thing about this group is that it was really doing what it can to help people have better access to things they want to try, whether it's showing dogs of a specific breed or finding breeders who aren't racist, which is harder than it sounds, or just interested in a sport or just training in general. the one thing I will say about inclusivity in dog training is that it is not a dedicated force-free forum. So for people who are interested in joining it, just know that sometimes you will see dogs with aversives being utilized, but I haven't seen any videos. Sometimes they're in photos, but for the most part, they're talking about what's going on with the people. And I think that considering what they're trying to accomplish, that is an okay thing. I understand that some people are going to think that is a shitty thing to say. And I would like to remind them that, thousands of years of oppression is a pretty big deal, and that if you're interested in learning about how to be anti-racist, this group is a fantastic way to do that. Again, their name is Inclusivity in Dog Training. The moderators are, I don't know when they sleep. They're fantastic. They will tell people how they can improve their language if they're kind of missing the mark on how to interact with other members. And it's just been a really great way to shine a light on a lot of new people that I never would have thought or never would have known to check out, just because I've never seen them. They don't show up in my social circles, and that's a bummer. Hopefully that'll change. Checking for questions. Nothing. All right. Oh, here's my info for when I'm talking. So let me check my notes here. All right, some other aspects about science over shock trying to break the mold and the stereotypical mold of what force free professionals are like. We're kind of seen as smug and snooty. I am 100% comfortable saying that the stereotype of force free people is being kind of snooty. It's and if you are clutching your pearls at that, I want you to try to take a moment and think about why your pearls are being clutched right now. Like, why does that bother you? If you know you're doing everything you can to be more accessible to people, what is this? This could go away. There we go. If you're doing what you can to be more accessible, then I don't know why your pearls need to get clutched. And instead, think about why that statement bothers you. Why is that happening? And I think a lot of it has to do with the language that we're using. And again, that gets very messy very quickly, as far as saying like, well, I want to use the right terms. Yeah, okay, but there's a way to use words, not necessarily dumbed down, but in a way that a non-professional can understand. That makes it easier. You don't have to say high rate of reinforcement. What you can say is reward fast and often. You don't have to say this dog is over threshold. You could say their water is boiling, their energy is boiling over, or what's another thing? I like to say they're in outer space and we need to bring them back down to earth. So with helping with redirection, interruption of behavior, and creating a new modus operandi. There you go, using the big words. A way for the dog to respond to something that makes them nervous. Let's take them out from outer space, bring them back down to earth. That seems to be a great way to bridge that mental gap when they're just like, well, what? They're just barking. No, they're not barking. It's what feels like they can't control themselves because it's hard for them to think because they're not grounded. So coming back down to earth, grounded. Get how that works? So whatever region of the United States you're in, or whatever region of Canada or Mexico or wherever you are in the world, find some idioms or some turns of phrase that will help people in your area understand what you mean rather than using the technical terms. Can you still use the technical terms? Absolutely. Can you use them all the time? It would probably be a bad idea. We want to bring the people in, not overwhelm them with information. We don't want they themselves to get over threshold as far as coming to this new info. Another thing to help us kind of lower our snooty level is I've noticed there seems to be a bit of a dick measuring contest with people talking about how non-aversive they are. Oh, I've never used aversives when I was training dogs, or you know, I did a long time ago, but for the last 20 years, I haven't been using aversives, or I went to this school, or da 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 da, or just, it's a long list. I'm sure I've said stupid shit like that too. I can't think of it right now, and my ego won't let me think of it. But there's got to be stuff I've said, and us having those little macho contests, like it's in every industry. It's just this is what we do in our industry. I suggest you button up that lip and maybe listen to what other people are saying. I just saw something today where somebody was introducing themselves and the other person was like, "Oh, you'll just get ready to learn all da 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 da." This person that introduced herself has been training for almost a decade, and this person just assumed that the poster was just like a newbie, and I just don't understand that why people feel the need to be condescending. I'd love to get a psychologist sitting in on some of these force-free groups. So what I'm trying to say with this rant is that it would be helpful for us to, rather than show our differences within our community, that we should instead focus on what our shared interest is, which is helping people live better lives with their animals. And if the animals are more your focus, then it's helping animals live better lives with their human families. Very often our customers are people that center the people first and then the animals, whereas we tend to center the animals first and then the people. It is helpful for us to change our language and how we're speaking about our issues, about what we're working on with our clients, where it focuses on the person, especially if this is someone new to training. They need to relate it to their life to make it applicable to them. If we make everything about the dog, a lot of people will be turned off by that. I personally love to focus more on the animal. But if you would have talked to me 10 years ago when I'm trying to make enough money and, barely able to make ends meet, and then I get a dog, I didn't have a dog at the time, but I would be like, dude, I'm worried about eating enough every week, and you want me to do all this extra stuff. You want me to prep this stuff for my dog, and you want me to do all these special things and all these special walks and stuff. Like, screw you. Like, try to think about accessibility in what your client can reasonably do between the sessions when they see you again. And that between sessions, that leads to another thing. Not everyone can afford to do dog training constantly. And that's where the income level and class level come into play. When people are more, when there's people that have pets that also worry about having enough food to feed everyone in their family. It is not unreasonable to assume that the person you're working with may never work with you again out of financial need. And with that, we have some decisions to make as professionals. We can decide how much free education we want to have out there. We can decide what we want to make available just through our networks. So like what we're doing with Science Over Shock, we're reposting and sharing stuff that tons of professionals have put out there already. Um, do we want to create a sliding scale, maybe for people who um, they're doing everything they can. They're working two jobs. Like we all have heard those stories of people that are trying to make ends meet. And they also want to do well by their family members, whether they be human or four-footed. But maybe we can make some concessions with our pricing for people. Maybe we can have scholarships that for people that are interested in training. If you have what's it called, internships or apprenticeships. Maybe there's a way people can learn about training while they work for you, and they can get paid. I'm not a fan of free internships. I think it is an awful way to operate. People need to be paid for the work that they're doing. I live in a very cutthroat area, go, 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 move, 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 rent is ridiculous. And to say, hey, can you work for me? But it's just for free because you're doing all this learning. Like, no, that's unreasonable. And I hate that that's considered a normal thing, at least in the States. Just trying to undo everything one at a time, surely. But anyway, back to training and not the state of the things. See what you can do to help people that you know will not squander the opportunity to receive maybe some reduced pricing in training, because we want everybody to succeed. We don't just want those high-paying clients that can that have like $1,000 a month to commit to their dog. I mean, that's really cool. You can have those clients, but also consider people that can't afford it at the time. Let me check my notes, and I will check for any questions. There are no questions. Okay. There are 5 viewers. Hello, 5 viewers. Please be sure to drop a comment while you're watching. Let me look over here. There's me again. This is Mindy. This is my dog. I think that's mostly everything. Yeah, so again, Science Over Shock is we're working with a lot of different a lot of different factors with in regards to the accessibility route. I am hoping that in the future we'll be able to host maybe some roundtable discussions where we have multiple professionals talking to each other. I'd also see us having videos of maybe professionals interviewing each other, if not a roundtable discussion. We don't have any original stuff out right now. We're just reposting and sharing. And we also are using with our Facebook group, which I can bring up for you here. Our Facebook group, what we are doing is, it's not necessarily a writer's workshop. Go away. We are, oh my gosh, it's not going to load. Oh my goodness. Anyway, you can join our group, and we give writing prompts. We do brainstorms once a week. We are, please go away. There we go. Here we go. We have goals on like, hey, I need a little bit of help communicating on this online thing. Can you talk about it? We have memes for Mondays. People asking for help on stuff. That is definitely Ursula. So this is here. There's an example. Today's topic: what is one dog body language thing that you love to teach, and how do you teach it? And then we have people responding, which is great. We have people working with the PPG. We have more more memes. We gotta have memes. Gotta have the memes. Um, we'll talk about brainstorm stuff for what we can put out. We'll talk about language. We'll post things. So here's Nicola posted something that she made, and we were welcome to share it. It was awesome. This is a really great, well thought out post that she wrote that helps people understand that a dog being social doesn't mean it sees things as a pack. And we're trying to lift each other's info up. We're trying to get more people of color's information out there as well. Here's Mike Shikashio. We're talking about what's going on with one of the Biden's dogs. Here's somebody wrote a public letter about why they canceled Netflix regarding the broadcasting of canine intervention. We have action items for people to do. And we're helping people that, like, we're all doing a ton of work. We're all overwhelmed. So we help point people in directions that is something that will foster positive, good change, good feels change. And it's just, it's a chicken. That is what we can, oh, here. And we do welcome posts once a week. Here's a brainstorm. So the reason why we're doing this is incremental change. Just like in training, incremental change is the way to go. That is what's going to be result in long-term change. So if all of us can get just a little bit more information out where the general population can see it, excuse me, and maybe we get our own information out there as well as a side effect, which is cool. But the main goal of Science Over Shock is to get people able to make better decisions about taking care of their animals, specifically their dogs. Since we are dog trainers, that's what we're focused on. But everybody, all the animals can win. If we can improve dog training, we can improve the lives of other animals as well. I got to run. I think you saw in that reminder thing that I have to go run to get an MRI. But thank you so much, everyone who came to listen. I hope to see you in the comments, and thanks again. Thanks so much. If you have any questions, you can email me at sayhi@scienceovershock.com, and I can, oh my God, there's those oh my God. Well, don't I feel silly. Thanks, Tracy. Thanks, Sue. Scott, I hear this is an issue. It took certain schools. Da, 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 da. Yes, it's an issue. We need to get information out there. And that's not to say that, Scott, he says, I hear this issue with those that took certain schools. $6,000 makes you more educated than others, even though that stuff is only a sliver of science. And Sue says, I know when trainers throw around classical condition, blah, 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 giving people an example is easier for the masses. Right. So, and let me say this with an asterisk. I don't think education is bad. What we are trying to do is educate people, right? We want to educate them. We want them to make better choices about their animals. But when we make people feel bad through our actions because they don't have enough education or what we deem to be enough education, that sucks, man. Like, that's no way to bring people in. So instead of saying how cool you are, and I'm sure you're not meaning to do this, but instead of saying how cool you are about the cool new thing you learned. Instead, make it as a teaching opportunity where, hey, I learned about this thing today. Is that something you'd like to hear about? Or, hey, today we're going to talk about why your dog does X. And you don't have to say how you learned it. You can just talk about it. Okay, I really do have to run. They're already going to be mad at me for being late. But guys, thanks so much for having me. Feel free to check in with us. There we go. Feel free to check in with us with the email address. Feel free to follow our page. This is our group page. I'm just oh my God, where did it go? There we go. This is our Facebook page for professionals, or excuse me, group. If you're interested in joining the page, maybe you just want the information, you don't want the prompts, please feel free to join our public page, which is just like a shit ton of info. And then, of course, we have the, please drop a note and say, so we can follow you back. And that's it. I really got to go. These stickers? Yeah, man, I have stickers. Oh, for Science Over Shock? No, we don't have stickers yet, but we will. We will. Oh my God. Why is it pinned? Oh my God, what did I do? Okay. Thanks so much, everyone. Thanks, Ruby. Bye.